Hey guys, I'm gonna quickly chat while I sit in my sister's room and just like use some of her products and stuff. Not that I need to, but all my family's downstairs and we're gonna go to a lunch soon. So I thought I'd quickly film a video before we go. And what I wanted to talk about is something that I wrote in my notes the other day to remember to talk about. Ignore that. Which is basically, I've obviously spoken so much about the change in dynamics going from being in Thailand, traveling, like solo traveling, and then traveling with my boyfriend and stuff, just this lifestyle, to coming back to like my hometown. Well, it's not my hometown because we moved house, but like my family and old environments, and the change in dynamic and like adjusting to it. And yeah, like how it's something to grasp. Like it's something I'm constantly thinking about because I'm feeling all types of different ways every day. You know, some days I'm like, it's so nice to be home, I love seeing everyone, I need to make the most of it. And some days I'm like, I feel really lost and like detached from my home and stuff. And a realization that I came to the other day is that when even whilst I was at home, I kind of isolated myself before I went solo traveling and stuff, and went on my own little discovery and lost a lot of friends, and just basically was pretty lonely. And it was pretty deliberate, but it was also just like the result of doing all of this like inner work. Actually, I'm not going to use products, there's no reason for me to use her products, let me just talk. Yeah, like I was on a pretty lonely journey, and then I went solo traveling. That's my cat, by the way. Went solo traveling, and what you'll find is that you become, it's a weird dynamic because you become really reserved and very like self-sufficient, and you learn to again be friends with yourself, and you know, you learn a lot about what you like, what you dislike, what resonates with you. But you also become pretty social because you're solo, so you're exposing yourself to people that you choose to and stuff. I'm trying to like piece this together. So I went through all of that, and then I met my boyfriend whilst I was solo traveling, and then we've been traveling together for like a year pretty much since we met. And then we've been out in Thailand for months and months, and we're planning on moving out there. And where we're so like isolated, and every day is pretty much just like me on my own, and then with my boyfriend through parts of it. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not exposed to many people very often, and I can go days without even speaking to a soul. And I like that. I like it because it helps with like introspection and stuff and just all that shit. But when I come back to old environments and to like chaos in other ways, like seeing so many family members, seeing big groups of friends, and like my family are pretty social. They're not as social as they used to be, but pretty social. There's always something on. There's always like, oh, we're going to meet this family, or we're doing this, like, and like I'm being exposed to all of these energies that I'm not used to, and it's like I struggle to even remember how to socialize. Basically, it's such a, I've just explained this in the longest way possible to say that like my social skills have gone downhill, but it's like a blessing and a curse. Do you know what I mean? Because there are pros to it and there are cons to it. Because the pros are, I am now the person I am today by going off and doing all that shit by myself. But obviously the cons are that like I'm really sensitive to energies now. Like I'm sensitive to comments, I'm sensitive to conversations and just like vibes in the room and stuff. And I don't know, like I feel everything a lot more deeply now, which is great because I never used to, and I pretty much had no feelings and no emotions and was just numb to everything, which kind of like took away from the human experience in itself, if that makes sense. So I really enjoy that I can be like this now, but also it's quite a lot to like get used to, if you know what I mean, and try and not be too sensitive. Because I was before, like you could have literally like dragged me through a bush upside down, I would have been like, I don't really care. But now someone will literally make the smallest comment and it's just like reaches me differently. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I've just become very sensitive to energies and spaces, environments and stuff, and I love it. I love to feel, but it's also just overwhelming sometimes. And I never really thought I'd be that person, like ever. I was always the person that just didn't really give a fuck. Like in different ways, like stick me on the floor. I don't even need a pillow to sleep on. I'm fine with fucking anything. Just very easy going, but it's because I just couldn't be asked to deal with anything. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now I like to create my space with intention. I like to choose who I'm surrounded by with intention, have intentional conversations, and yeah, everything just feels more purposeful. But like I said, it's just quite a lot to like grasp. So that's a realization that I had. And I knew this, I've been knowing this because I've been saying this since every time I come back to England. But yeah, I just thought like the sensitivity to energy type thing was interesting, and I'm sure other people can relate if they've kind of had the same thing. Because I think to go through, like, to kickstart your like spiritual self-development, whatever journey you're on, whatever you want to call it, you do have to really just like look within and like block out everything around you. To be honest, that's the easiest way to go about it, and that's what tends to happen. But now I'm at a point where I'm really trying to find the balance between looking in and looking outwards, and like have a perfect balance. There's no such thing as a perfect balance, but have the right balance for me to navigate my life properly. Because I want to be as social as I used to be, I really do, but it's just also like it feels so much harder. It feels so much harder. I just love my space and my time, and like carefully choosing what I want to do. But when you're obviously with other people come into play, and that's fine because that's life, and I need to like kind of learn to weave that back into my life. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, we're actually going to Greece in a few days, so the next few videos will probably be in Greece as well. Bye bye.